If you are a Canadian senior who receives CPP, OAS, or GIS payments every single month, stop what you are doing and watch this video right now, because something has changed in 2026 that is directly affecting how your government money is being delivered to you. New banking laws have come into effect. The government has shifted the way it sends your pension deposits. And if you have not updated your information or you are still waiting on a paper check, your payments could be delayed, reduced, or even temporarily suspended. This is not a scare tactic. This is real. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly what has changed, why it matters, and what steps you need to take today to make sure your money keeps coming in, on time, every time. Stay with me. This is one of the most important videos you will watch this year. Welcome to OAS GIS, your trusted source for the latest updates on Canadian government benefits, pension changes, and financial news that directly affects your life in retirement. I am so glad you are here today because what we are covering in this video touches millions of Canadian seniors from coast to coast. In 2026, Canada has introduced a series of new banking and financial regulations that are changing the way CPP, OAS, and GIS payments reach your bank account. At the same time, the government has adjusted payment amounts, updated eligibility rules, and introduced new consumer banking protections, all of which you need to know about. Whether you are 65 years old and just starting to receive your OAS, or you have been collecting CPP for years, this video is going to walk you through everything, clearly, calmly, and in simple language that makes sense. So let us get into it. And please, if you find this helpful, stick around to the end. I have some very important alerts for you that most people are missing. Let us start at the very beginning because a lot of seniors are confused about what exactly is changing and why. The phrase new banking laws can sound alarming, so let me be very clear right from the start. Your CPP, OAS, and GIS money is not disappearing. The government is not taking it away. What is changing is how that money gets to you and what new rules are now in place around banking in Canada that every senior needs to understand. The biggest shift in 2026 is the move toward mandatory direct deposit for all government benefit payments. Starting in early 2026, the Canada Revenue Agency, known as the CRA, has made it a requirement that individuals receiving refunds, credits, and benefit payments must have direct deposit set up. This means the era of waiting for a paper check in the mail is essentially over for most Canadians. For years, many seniors relied on receiving a physical check from the government. You would wait by the mailbox, deposit it at the bank, and your money would be available a few days later. That process worked, but it was slow, it was sometimes unreliable, and it left a lot of room for delays, especially during holidays, postal disruptions, or bad weather. The government has decided that Canada needs to move to a fully digital, direct deposit-based system, and that decision is now law. This is part of a broader federal effort to modernize how public funds are distributed, making the process faster, safer, and more efficient for everyone. Now, here is where it directly affects you. If you are still receiving your CPP, OAS, or GIS payments by paper check, and you have not yet registered for direct deposit with Service Canada or the CRA, you need to do that as soon as possible, not next month, not when you get around to it, now. Because once the mandatory direct deposit system is fully enforced, seniors without banking information on file could experience payment delays. Setting up direct deposit is simple. You can do it online through your My Service Canada account at canada.ca. You can also do it in person at your local bank or credit union, or you can call Service Canada directly at 1-800-277-9914, and they will walk you through the process step by step. There is no cost to set it up, and once it is in place, your payments will arrive on the exact scheduled date, right in your bank account without any waiting. Now, beyond the shift to direct deposit, there are other new banking laws in 2026 that are actually very good news for Canadian seniors. Let us talk about some of these changes because they are designed to put more money back in your pocket and give you better protections when dealing with your bank. One of the most significant new banking changes that came into effect on March 12, 2026, is the cap on non-sufficient funds fees, what most of us call NSF fees. If you have ever had a payment bounce because your account was a few dollars short, you know how painful the old fees were. Canada's big banks were charging between $45 and $48 every single time your account was insufficient, even if it was short by just $1. That is an enormous penalty for people living on a fixed income. The federal government has now capped NSF fees at just $10 for personal and joint bank accounts at all federally regulated financial institutions across Canada. This is a massive change. In fact, the government estimates this single rule change will save Canadians over $619 million in the very first year. And it gets even better. Under the new rules, your bank cannot charge you that NSF fee more than once within a 2-business-day period for the same account. And no NSF fee can be charged at all if your overdraft is less than $10. For seniors living on CPP, OAS, and GIS, this change is hugely meaningful. When you are on a fixed income and timing matters, one missed payment could previously cascade into a $48 penalty. That does not happen anymore. The new $10 cap gives you a much softer landing if your account timing ever becomes tight. There is also great news when it comes to monthly account fees. Through an updated commitment signed by 14 major federally regulated financial institutions, including Canada's largest banks, all Canadians can now access a standard bank account for no more than $4 per month, with even more debit transactions included than before. And here is the part that matters most for GIS recipients specifically. If you receive the Guaranteed Income Supplement, you are now entitled to a $0 per month bank account. That is right, completely free banking as a GIS recipient. This applies to seniors, youth, students, and people with registered disability savings plans. Another important banking change involves check hold rules. The government has modernized these rules through legislation to increase the amount of immediately available funds when you deposit a check. The old rule allowed banks to hold back everything above $100 when you deposited a check. Under the new framework, that amount has been raised to $250, which means you get faster access to more of your money right away. The government is also developing further regulations to shorten overall check hold periods so that Canadians have quicker access to funds they deposit. And finally, Canada has moved forward with open banking legislation in 2026. This is a system that allows you, the consumer, to securely share your financial data between your bank and other accredited financial service providers. This means more choice, more competition, and better deals for seniors who want to compare financial products or switch banks without losing access to their payment history. Phase 1 of this framework is already in effect, and more features will roll out in the months and years ahead. Now let us talk specifically about your Canada Pension Plan, your CPP, and what has changed for 2026. The CPP is a monthly taxable government benefit that replaces part of the income you earn during your working years. To receive it, you must have made at least one valid contribution to the CPP plan and be at least 60 years of age. The amount you receive depends on how much and how long you contributed during your career. The longer and more consistently you contributed, the higher your monthly payment. Here's the good news for 2026. CPP payments increased in January 2026, as they do every year through an annual inflation adjustment. The maximum monthly CPP retirement benefit for someone receiving it at age 65 has increased from $1,433 to $1,507.65 per month in 2026. This is a meaningful increase that helps seniors keep pace with the rising cost of living. Now, it is important to understand that not everyone receives the maximum. The maximum only goes to those who made the highest possible CPP contributions throughout their entire working life. The average new CPP beneficiary, as of recent data, receives around $803.76 per month. Still, every dollar of increase matters when you are managing a household budget on a fixed income. CPP payments are scheduled on the third to last banking day of each month. That means you can reliably predict when your money is coming. For the remainder of 2026, your upcoming CPP payment dates are as follows: May 27th, June 26th, July 29th, August 27th, September 25th, October 28th, November 26th, and December 22nd, with the December payment coming earlier due to the holiday season. One thing you should know about December specifically is that Service Canada sometimes issues two payments close together: the late December payment for the current month and an early payment for January of the following year, to account for the holiday banking closures. This can feel like you received extra money, but it is simply a scheduling adjustment. Budget carefully so that you do not spend both amounts at once and find yourself short in January. CPP is considered taxable income and must be reported on your annual tax return. If you are still working while collecting CPP and you are under the age of 70, you may also be contributing to what is called the CPP post-retirement benefit, which can actually increase your monthly CPP over time. This is worth discussing with a financial advisor if it applies to your situation. Now let us move to the Old Age Security Pension, the OAS, which is one of the most widely received government benefits in Canada. Unlike CPP, OAS does not depend on your work history. It is based simply on your age and how long you have lived in Canada. To receive OAS, you must be 65 years of age or older and have lived in Canada for at least 10 years after turning 18. To receive the full OAS pension, you generally need 40 years of Canadian residency after age 18. If you have fewer than 40 years of residency, you may receive a partial OAS pension based on a proportional calculation. OAS payments also increased in January 2026. Here are the updated amounts. For seniors between the ages of 65 and 74, the maximum monthly OAS pension is now $742.31, up from $727.67 in 2025. For seniors who are 75 years of age and older, the maximum monthly OAS has increased to $816.54, up from $844 in 2025. The extra amount for seniors 75 and over reflects a permanent 10% enhancement introduced a few years ago to recognize that older seniors face higher costs as they age. One critical thing to understand about OAS is how it is adjusted throughout the year. While CPP only adjusts once per year in January, the OAS pension, along with GIS, the allowance, and the allowance for the survivor, is reviewed every single quarter. That means your OAS can change 4 times a year, in January, April, July, and October, based on changes in the Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation. In April 2026, for example, OAS and GIS received another small quarterly increase of 0.1%. That may seem modest, but for a senior receiving payments month after month, every quarterly bump adds up over the course of a year. The next important quarterly review is scheduled for July 2026. If the cost of living continues to rise between February and April of this year, seniors could see another increase beginning with the July 29, 2026 payment. Service Canada will publish the official new rates before that date. Now, there is one important element of OAS that higher income seniors need to be aware of, and that is what is called the OAS recovery tax, or informally, the OAS clawback. If your individual net income in 2024 exceeded $90,997, the government will begin recovering a portion of your OAS payments. Specifically, for every dollar you earned above that threshold, 15 cents of your OAS is repaid to the government. For the 2026 income year, the full OAS clawback applies to those earning between $95,323 and $154,753 for seniors age 65 to 74, and up to $160,696 for seniors age 75 and over. If this clawback applies to you, it is typically spread across your 12 monthly OAS payments, so you will receive a slightly reduced amount each month rather than being asked for a lump sum at tax time. The good news is that GIS payments are completely separate from this calculation. GIS is non-taxable and does not count as income for clawback purposes. Let us spend some meaningful time on the Guaranteed Income Supplement, the GIS, because this program is absolutely essential for low-income seniors, and there are some very important changes and rules in 2026 that affect your eligibility and your payment amount. The GIS is a tax-free monthly benefit paid on top of your OAS pension. It is designed specifically for seniors who have a lower income and who need additional financial support. And unlike CPP and OAS, the GIS is completely non-taxable. You never have to report it as income, and it will never be clawed back. The April 2026 quarterly review confirmed the following GIS payment amounts. A single, widowed, or divorced senior whose 2024 annual net income is below $22,512 can now receive up to $109.85 per month in GIS. That is a slight increase from the previous quarter's maximum of $108.74. For a married or common law couple where both spouses receive the full OAS pension, each partner can receive up to $668.08 per month in GIS, provided their combined annual income stays below $29,760. These amounts, combined with your OAS pension, can bring a low-income senior's total monthly income to a much more meaningful level. When you add up a partial CPP with the full OAS and the maximum GIS, the total monthly income can approach and in some cases exceed $2,100 or more, which is why ensuring your GIS eligibility is properly maintained is so critical. Here is something that many seniors do not realize about GIS. Every single July, Service Canada recalculates your GIS amount based on your most recent tax return. For July 2026, they will be using your 2025 tax return, the one with a filing deadline of April 30th, 2026. This means that your GIS payment amount starting in July 2026 is directly linked to whether you filed your 2025 taxes on time. If your income dropped between 2024 and 2025, maybe you stopped working, sold fewer investments, or had other income reductions, you could actually see your GIS payments increase starting in July 2026 because the lower income makes you eligible for a higher supplement. On the other hand, if your income rose between those years, your GIS could be reduced or even suspended entirely, depending on how much it increased. And here is the most important warning of this section. If you did not file your 2025 tax return by April 30th, 2026, or if you have not yet filed, Service Canada has no way to recalculate your GIS. That means your GIS payments could be suspended starting in July 2026 until you file. Even seniors with zero income must file a tax return every single year to maintain uninterrupted GIS payments. Let us now cover the complete payment schedule for the rest of 2026, so you know exactly when to expect your money. CPP, OAS, and GIS are all paid on the same date each month, a tremendous convenience for planning your household budget. Here are the confirmed payment dates for the remaining months of 2026, May 27th, June 26th, July 29th, August 27th, September 25th, October 28th, November 26th, and December 22nd, with December arriving earlier than usual due to the Christmas and Boxing Day closures. Mark these dates on your calendar. Set a reminder on your phone, or write them on a piece of paper near your telephone. Knowing when your money is coming makes it so much easier to time your rent payment, your utility bills, your grocery trips, and your prescriptions. If you are signed up for direct deposit, your funds will typically appear in your bank account on the morning of each of these dates. Some banks and credit unions may process the deposit slightly later in the day, but in almost all cases, it arrives the same day. If 5 business days pass after the scheduled date and your money has not arrived, log into your My Service Canada account or call Service Canada at 1-800-277-9914 to investigate. If you are still receiving checks by mail, and again, I strongly encourage you to switch to direct deposit if you have not already. Allow extra time for postal delivery, especially in December, when mail volume is very high and the early payment date means less buffer time. Let us take a moment to talk about Canada's new open banking law, because it has implications for every Canadian who has a bank account, including seniors on CPP and OAS. In 2026, Canada passed legislation called the Consumer-Driven Banking Act. This law creates a national framework for what is called open banking. In simple terms, open banking gives you, the consumer, the right to securely share your own financial data with other accredited companies and service providers. For example, if you want to switch from one bank to another, or if you want to use a financial app to help you track your retirement income, you can authorize those services to access your transaction history without giving them your passwords. Phase 1 of this system is now active, allowing read-only access. That means accredited services can view your financial information with your explicit permission, but they cannot move your money. A second phase introducing more advanced features like account switching and payment initiation is expected to be developed in the coming years. For many seniors, this may seem technical or even unnecessary, and you are absolutely not required to use any open banking services. Your CPP, OAS, and GIS payments will continue exactly as they do now, completely unaffected by the open banking framework. However, if you are someone who uses financial apps or is thinking about switching banks, this new law gives you more control and more security when doing so. You no longer need to hand over your login credentials to third-party apps. The new system creates a safer, government-regulated way to share data. The bottom line, open banking is designed to increase your choices and protect your data. It does not affect your government pension payments in any way. Now we have reached the section of this video that I consider the most important. These are the critical alerts, deadlines, and warnings that every Canadian senior absolutely must pay attention to right now. Alert number 1. The April 30th, 2026 tax filing deadline has either just passed or is right upon you. This date is not optional for GIS recipients. Filing your 2025 tax return by April 30th, 2026 is the single most important action you can take to protect your GIS payments starting in July. If you miss this deadline, file as soon as possible. Even one day late is better than weeks late. Service Canada cannot calculate your GIS entitlement for July 2026 onward without your 2025 tax return on file. Late filers risk having their GIS payments suspended until the return is processed. If you need help filing, contact the CRA at 1-800-387-1193, visit your local Service Canada office, or ask a community volunteer tax clinic for assistance. Alert number 2. Update your banking information immediately. The shift to mandatory direct deposit means that having old, incorrect, or missing banking information on file with Service Canada or the CRA is no longer just an inconvenience. It is a real risk to receiving your payments on time. Log into your My Service Canada account today and confirm that your bank account number, institution number, and transit number are correct. If any of that information has changed, even if you just switched accounts at the same bank, you need to update it right away. You can do this online at canada.ca by calling Service Canada or by visiting your bank in person. Alert number 3. Beware of scams related to new banking laws. Every time the government announces changes to payment systems or pension programs, scammers take advantage of public confusion. You may receive phone calls, emails, or text messages claiming to be from the CRA or Service Canada, telling you that your account has been flagged, that you owe money, or that you need to verify your banking details immediately. Do not respond to these messages. The CRA will never call you to demand immediate payment or ask for your banking information over the phone in this manner. If you receive a suspicious call, hang up and dial Service Canada or the CRA directly using the official numbers found on the canada.ca website. Alert number 4. If you are between the ages of 60 and 64 and your spouse or common law partner receives OAS and GIS, you may qualify for the allowance, a special additional federal benefit that provides extra income support. This program is often overlooked. The maximum allowance for a qualifying partner whose combined income is below $41,664 per year could provide significant additional monthly support. Ask Service Canada whether you qualify. Alert number 5. Seniors age 75 and over are receiving an enhanced OAS, 10% more than those aged 65 to 74. If you recently turned 75 and your OAS has not yet reflected this increase, contact Service Canada to ensure it has been applied to your account. Alert number 6. If you recently changed your address and you have not updated it with the CRA and Service Canada, do it today. Benefits mailed to an old address can cause months of disruption and missing payments. Even if you have direct deposit set up, your official correspondence, including notices about payment changes and benefit decisions, is still mailed to the address they have on file. We have covered a lot of ground today, and I want to bring it all together for you in a clear and simple summary. In 2026, Canada has introduced new banking laws and financial regulations that are directly affecting how your CPP, OAS, and GIS payments reach you. The biggest change is the move to mandatory direct deposit. Paper checks are being phased out, and every senior needs to ensure their banking information is current and registered with Service Canada. This is not optional, and the sooner you take care of it, the safer your payments will be. At the same time, the government has introduced meaningful new banking protections that benefit seniors directly. NSF fees have been capped at $10, down from as high as $50. GIS recipients are entitled to a completely free bank account with no monthly fee. Check-a-hold rules have been modernized to give you faster access to your deposited funds, and Canada's new open banking framework gives you more control and security over your financial data. On the pension side, the numbers have gone up. CPP payments at age 65 now have a maximum of $1,507.65 per month. OAS for seniors aged 65 to 74 has increased to $742.31, and for seniors 75 and older, it is now $816.54. GIS for single seniors has risen to a maximum of $109.85 per month. These increases are tied to inflation and are designed to help you keep pace with rising costs. Your remaining 2026 payment dates are May 27th, June 26th, July 29th, August 27th, September 25th, October 28th, November 26th, and December 22nd. Write those down, set your reminders, and plan your monthly expenses accordingly. And the most urgent thing you can do right now, if you have not already, is file your 2025 tax return. Your GIS payments from July 2026 onward depend on it. If you have already filed, excellent. If not, do it today. I truly hope this video gave you the clarity and confidence you need to navigate these changes without stress. You have worked hard your entire life, and you deserve to receive every single dollar you are entitled to, on time, without confusion, without interruption. If this video helped you in any way, I want to ask you one simple thing. Hit the subscribe button right now and turn on your notifications. Every week on Mimstar Jack, we bring you the latest updates on Canadian government benefits, CPP, OAS, GIS, CRA payments, and everything else that matters to seniors and retirees in Canada. We keep it simple, we keep it honest, and we keep it real. Share this video with a family member, a friend, or a neighbor who is collecting pension benefits. You might be saving them from a missed payment or a costly mistake. These updates are not always easy to find, and that is exactly why we are here. Thank you so much for watching. This is Mr. Jack, and we will see you in the next video.